I am swimming from Mexico in Monterrey. And I am a yoga teacher and a yoga tune-up teacher and trainer. First of all, as a teacher, I have some of my students, they are always complaining about, back pain. Back pain is something that a lot of people can relate to. So even if I don't per se have back pain, I mean, I've had back pain, but it's not something that I usually deal with. I have a lot of students that have back pain. So I wanted to know and have more tools to actually show them a very, a different way to approach their back pain. And
cool.
also,
so sorry, go ahead.
No, and also because my husband is one of those back pain sufferers. So I also wanted him to experience, your program and have comments from a student's perspective. So that's it.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. So Gabriela and Bernardo are giving us double feedback. Bernardo couldn't be here today, but we're getting the perspective of Gabriela from the teacher who wants to help her students to get more tools. And also Bernardo gave Gabriela his feedback of his perspective from somebody who was dealing with back pain as the course was underway, right? Cool.
Right, yeah. And this is the first time that I see everything together in just one place that talks with very informative, information and in a very simple way. I mean, and by simple, I mean very approachable way for somebody who doesn't know anything about, anatomy or anything. It's a very good first approach of how to manage health in general and back pain, specifically. So I like the way it's been presented. It's a very holistic way, but in a very, very easy to follow. So I felt very comfortable with, as it's presented on the website, but also the kind of information that was given to me. From a student's perspective, even if Bernardo knows about anatomy, for him, it was also kind of refreshing to know in the context of a back pain, what other things can play to improve the back pain, the back health. So that was very interesting and very, very cool to see all these pieces, put them together just for one objective. So that was very cool.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't really dove into the Retrain Back Pain or the Back Rehab Boss course, what we do is we take mindset and pain science and posture and spine hygiene in the think section. And then we move into the eat section, which combines hydration and nutrition and rest and recovery. And then we move into the move section, which incorporates breath and stretching and movement and strengthening. And so what Gabriela and Bernardo are referring to is that I've taken all of these different modalities and sort of shaken it out, and we look at it through the lens of how are all of these things as a whole person program going to help you manage your back pain.
So it's great. Very, very great approach.
Thank you. Yeah, and what Gabrielle is referring to also is that when I say something like you have to hydrate more, I'm also giving you the context on how it relates to your spine health and rehabbing and healing, right? So it's not just your back. It's cultivating an environment and an ecosystem where you can start to heal faster.
Yeah, you just said it. The ecosystem. I guess we see information all the time from different perspectives. That when you put it together with a very specific subject and objective, it makes you think about an ecosystem per se. So whatever you do in your ecosystem is going to affect and another part of your ecosystem. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I wasn't aware that I was doing that until some days pass. Like, oh yeah, I find out that I'm thinking in relation to how I move and how how I do things, thinking from my back kind of thing. So yeah, like I wasn't aware of that until some days in the program. So that was pretty cool to, I'm thinking from that perspective now. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because a lot of people with back pain, they're used to thinking about their back pain, but they're really only used to thinking about the pain, right? And so
Yeah.
it's a kind of sneaky the way I've heard from
Yes.
other students in the program about it. It felt like you were sitting on my shoulder all the time, and I was thinking about doing things better. So that's kind of cool.
I feel more confident. For some reason, whenever a student came and said, I have a back pain, for me, it was always like, the back is untouchable for me. Like, back is something that somebody else has to deal with. And now I feel probably less afraid of, moving and talking about movements from, for the back. Even if I have some knowledge before, it was kind of, I don't want to deal with it. But now I feel more confident, and also it feels very good. It feels, it's, even if I don't have back pain, it's just like, well, I don't have back pain, but I suffer sometimes from tension and, because of bad posture. And it has done things for me. So yeah, I feel more confident in approaching with this approach. It's very easy to teach and to not be afraid of teaching and moving the person. Because before I was kind of, whenever somebody says back pain, I was always kind of, don't do this, don't do that. Maybe you want to sit down this. And now I feel more confident. No, yeah, you should do it. You can do this and that, and with modifications and variations that you teach. So yeah.
Cool. That's great feedback. It is interesting that the exercises that are in the program, they're not super complex, but
No.
the instructions are very precise, and we do them slowly, and the exercises are appropriate for stenosis, spondylolisthesis, herniations. They are appropriate for specifically, I designed them so that they would be appropriate for the majority of back conditions. So that's good.
Yeah, that's something that I when I read the information and then you were talking about it, it was like, oh, there's a lot of conditions or kind of pains that can be helped with this. So that gave me more confidence, because sometimes when when you hear all those conditions, it's like, yeah, I don't know anything about those. And the way you explain them and kind of deconstruct it, it was very cool.
Yeah, and what's interesting too, when you were talking about when people come into your class and you want to tend to just tell them to do less, right? This is actually a holdover from like the 70s and 80s where lumbago, or non-specific chronic low back pain, the prescription for that was rest, like lay in bed, and that's still that sort of idea of you need to rest your back all
Yeah.
the time and it's going to get better. That persists today, but I can't emphasize enough that rest is not rehabilitation. Rest
Yeah.
is like an acute injury, you have a moment of rest, maybe a day or two, three, and then it is imperative. All the research shows that you have to start moving. And so, yeah, so hopefully this is part of the process of breaking that understanding that rest is what you have to do under all back pain conditions, right?
Yeah. And also it has to do with information, and the way you present the information is so clear and so approachable and accessible that it's like, so it's not that, far away.
And part of this program is just learning to take more control of our care of our back. And so one of the modules in the program is called Assembling Your Team. I don't mean that this program is supposed to replace the care of your doctor or the care of your other medical or clinical professionals. it's an adjunct, and it's supposed to empower you to be able to work with them and to take an active role in who you're seeing when, under which
Yeah.
conditions.
Mhm.
So, what were, from your perspective, what were one or two kind of aha moments for you that you were that like real gems that you found in the course that you were super, don't say too much about it, but just give us a general a general topical
Yeah.
thing.
Well, the one of those were the way you put everything together. It was like nobody has done it, and this is very cool and very good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But the way you approach the mindset, I loved it. It kind of put everything together. And it's very important because I think when you change your mindset, uh, you know, you can change your life basically. So I really loved how you put in the mindset approach, because yeah, that's one of the things that we should be doing every day.
Yeah, it really lays the groundwork for everything else, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, as sort of a guideline on how you might take
Yeah,
somebody through a back pain rehabilitative program, does it seem like this is a good roadmap for you as a teacher to follow with private
sure.
clients? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I would love to get more in depth on the cues and the instructions that you give, but that's me as a teacher, right? That's
Well,
just yeah.
Gabriela, we did have special teacher Zoom coaching sessions during this cohort.
I
I
know.
know you couldn't make them, but we did address teacher concerns specifically. And I taught this as I taught a teacher training a couple of years ago. And for the
I
teachers that are
know.
watching this, what I learned from teaching that is that I just have too much information to impart to other teachers in like a 5 day or one
I
week
know. Hmm.
format, right? So part of this course, although it's geared for people with back pain, this course really sets up a basic operating language onto which, if you want to work more with back pain people and you want to do more retrain back pain sort of teacher training, this is still the base. Everybody that would eventually come into a teacher training, and I don't know how I'm going to organize that or when, but anybody that's interested in that, this is still the basic operating language. Like everybody has to go through the steps, and we're all speaking the same language, and we all have the same understanding. I'll probably put together some teacher specific add-on to this. But I think this has to be sort of like the first step for everyone, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying it from the sake of, oh, I want more information from you because I know you, right? And I know I love getting your deninisms because they are very helpful. I mean, it has helped me a lot through the years. Uh, no, learning from you. So
Well, I'm super grateful for your participation in the program. I'm really happy to hear that Bernardo had a good experience because I know he's also a health professional. Well, thank you for joining the program. Thank you
thank
for
you.
taking the time to offer your opinion and your experience for other people who might be interested in coming in. I love you lots, and we'll talk again soon.